Hi, I'm Jack Hemingway from the Gardening Products Review, and today we're talking about the WORX Hydroshot. This is an awesome piece of gear. I really love it. This is a very different kind of pressure washer than you normally see on the marketplace. It's battery operated. It has two 20-volt lithium-ion batteries that activate a pump that's inside this head here, which turns it into a 450-pound PSI pressure washer. The system that they've developed is all about their 20-volt lithium-ion battery. They have millions of products out there that are powered by 20-volt systems like this. They've decided that they're going to get into the 40-volt market, and basically what they're doing is that they're adding two batteries, one here, one here. Now it's a 40-volt system. The 40-volt system is called the PowerShare System, or sometimes they call it the 2x20, which basically means two 20-volt batteries giving you 40 volts. There also is a setting for the low pressure, which is 290 psi. There's a little button right here that you can adjust that. And I'm going to show you in a minute how all of this stuff works. I just wanted to tell you that this is one of the most innovative products that I've seen in a long time in the pressure washer market. The other thing that we can take a look at is that these are both batteries here are 220 volts, as I said, and there's a little button right here that you can press, and you can actually see that I'm at full power here. So we're full power on that side, full power on here, and there's another button inside here where we can press it, and you can see that we're full power on both batteries. You cannot pull this trigger unless you've engaged the safety feature. So you have to pull down on that before you can actually engage the throttle, if you will. And you can actually hear that it was beginning to pump. I do not have the hoses hooked up yet to actually pump water. One of the things I did want to talk about is weight. With a conventional pressure washer, you're just going to get a wand, which is very light. This actually has the motor and batteries built in, and you're adding the lance at the end here. The whole unit itself weighs 6.9 pounds. So when you disperse the weight by grabbing it with your left or right hand up in the front and grabbing the rear here, it's very manageable. I could use this thing all day. There is a single head that comes with the unit that is inserted into a brass coupling on the top. What you do want to make sure of is that you give this a little pull to make sure that you don't fire your head off, which I've done before. And you just push that down and let this coupling go and give it a little tug. The different spray patterns are 0, 40 angle, 25 angle, and 15 angle. And this is all adjusted by a ring that's on the outside of the spray head itself. So I really like this. Most conventional pressure washers have different tips that you actually will insert into the end for the different spray patterns. But this has a universal tip that makes it really nice so that you're not having a bunch of different angled tips to keep track of. So one of the things I wanted to talk about the Hydroshot is the Quick Connect, a really nice design feature that WORX has come up with here. In the kit is supplied a Quick Connect. One end goes on your hose and one end goes on the actual Quick Connect here, and it's secured on there. To get it off, you just pull this coupling back and remove it. So let's hook this baby up and give it a try. I'm going to set this on a 15-degree angle, and I am going to pressure wash a moldy section of the concrete here. Okay, you can actually hear that that is a slower volume, or the low 290 psi, versus this. There you go with a high 450 psi. You can see right away that this area is being nicely cleaned by the 450 psi. It's not that the 290 isn't working, it's just a little bit more efficient to use the high power on a place that's pretty stained. So I'll try this a little bit more. Here's the high power. And you can actually, the closer you put it, the more effective you are at cleaning something. Now I'll turn it on low. You can see that it's not quite as effective as high. And you can actually push the button simultaneously to running the machine. So you can see this is 450 psi, and it's doing a better job than the 290. The 290 has applications, however. You may be washing windows or other things that need a lighter spray than 450 pounds per square inch. So both of these pressures are what make this machine fantastic. If you wanted to, you can actually take this apart, and there is a fitting on the bottom of this piece here, which I showed you before. That can be unscrewed, and you can actually take this coupling off altogether and insert the hose right into the bottom of the unit itself. So some people would prefer that. Myself, I like the quick disconnect. The only disadvantage is that if all of your other tools, like sprinklers and nozzles and those kinds of things, do not have quick connect ends on them, then you'll have to actually unscrew this and use the hose nozzle as it normally would be used. So there's sort of advantages and disadvantages of each. This is probably one of the coolest things that I've seen in a long time. WORX has come up with a separate hose that can actually be used with a bucket, or it could be a barrel full of water, when you don't have a hose available. You may have a hose available, but it just won't stretch long enough to meet your application. So basically what you do is you lower this intake here into a bucket of water. It has a cool little float here, so it'll keep it off the bottom, just in case you have chips of rust or whatever, if you were in a barrel or something like that, and you didn't want to ingest particulates that would clog up the nozzle. So it's got a cool little float here. It's got a clip on the side to hold it in place. And I'm going to take the other end of this, which in this case has this really cool fitting, which is the quick connect, which plugs right in the bottom of this. All you gotta do is push it on, you hear it click, and you're ready to go. So this is really awesome. I really like this, just from the fact that if you've got to do something, in the woods, you've got a boat that you just can't get to with a standard hose, you've got the ability to use the Hydroshot. So let's give it a go. You can hear that I've shifted it down into a lower PSI range. It still is actually cleaning, but it's not quite as effective as, or I should say, it's not quite as quick as the 450 psi. And also, when you get really stained areas, the 450 psi will work those off better. One of the other advantages that I really like about this is that it only uses 0.9 gallons per minute. This bucket over here is about a 2-gallon bucket, so you have about 2 minutes of continuous use at 450 psi. You could literally wash, a small car with this amount of water and using this particular gun. You don't even have to grab the hose and drag it out and hook it up. You just fill up a pail of water and you're good to go. I can't say enough good things about this thing. I think it's really well designed. I love the fact that it's battery powered. You don't have cords hanging all over the place. And one of the other things that I really like about this is that it has a single head with adjustable spray patterns on it. It's just one less thing to lose. It's just a dream to work with. And again, I just love this whole fact that you can get this down into a very small container when you're storing it either in your garage or your gardening shed or wherever. Love this fact that you can actually use this with a bucket of water as opposed to a hose. So all in all, this is a great homeowner product. It just meets the needs of so many different applications. So if you really like this video, we would love to have you like it. You can see it on the bottom of the screen. And of course, we'd love to have you subscribe to the Gardening Products Review YouTube channel. We offer a lot of different advice on a lot of different tools. And you can also give us a thumbs up if you like this as well. I'll do it again.